We've got the brief spoilers for chapter 1191 of One Piece, and this chapter is looking awesome. It looks like Loki and Luffy are coming back into the battle against Emu, and it looks like Hajrudin is joining them. It looks like Hajrudin's actually stepping up in this chapter. I'm still hopeful for Usopp. I mean, if Hajrudin's here, I think that Usopp can definitely be here too. But the chapter title is There's Still Loki, and the color spread is the Straw Hats at an Afro party, so this should be a pretty good color spread. Unfortunately, there is another break next week. I mean, I don't know how many breaks we're going to be having this fucking year. I mean, I think this is a new record for Oda, the number of breaks he's taken this year. And at this point, I'm getting very worried for the story of One Piece. Like, I just don't know how much content we're missing out because Oda's taking so many breaks. But let's just get started. We are picking up where we left off, and Gaban gets packed up by Emu. We take sort of a detour at the beginning of the chapter. It looks like Biblo is talking with Chopper. So this is something that was set up a couple chapters ago where Robin came to the Straw Hats that were by Gunko and told Chopper to come to the library. We all knew what that was about at the time, and it was so Chopper could start talking to Biblo and start learning about the Void Century secrets or the secrets of Elbaf from Biblo. And I doubt we're getting any of that conversation in this chapter. I'm assuming we're just getting Chopper arriving to the library, possibly just like starting the conversation, just, you know, okay, they can talk to each other, that's cool, but we're not probably getting any of the conversation. I'm assuming that's something we're going to get at the end of Elbaf once Emu is all taken care of. That's usually how it goes. Robin gets a little bit of history or some lore at the end of the arc, and then we just, you know, move from that point after. But then we're moving away from Chopper and we're going over to Zoro and Sanji. So we're getting a couple scenes from their fight. I'm assuming we're just, you know, continuing the fights, not really getting any, you know, hard progression. I don't think Sanji's getting Conqueror's Haki in this chapter. I think that would be its own dedicated chapter. I'm hoping that we're learning more about how Summers and Killingham can fight now with Omen. I want to see what power-ups they really got. You know, what is their bag now that they have Omen? Because they should have the full capabilities of Omen. They're able to summon the wings. We saw that Summers summoned the wings when he went and picked up the giant ship. So I want to see if they start to be able to utilize that. Can they utilize the Omen power with their Devil Fruit? But moving on, Emu reveals a new transformation, becoming larger in size and gaining 4 horns while his arms turn black. So Emu is transforming. I don't know if this is some unique transformation to Emu's Devil's Fruit because it is like some really weird new fruit. So it's hard to really say what this form is. Maybe it's just a brand new form that we haven't seen before or hasn't been, you know, hinted at before. But I wonder why Emu is transforming now. Maybe it's to get up back to the Sun Realm from the underworld. I would have to say that's the only reason. I mean, Emu can sprout wings, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean, why else would Emu be transforming? Maybe Emu's done fucking around because the time limit's about up, but Emu's transforming and I'm assuming is heading back to Luffy. But I'm assuming after Emu transforms, he says to Gaban, the brat from God Valley, I never expected you to become this strong. If I had known, I should have eliminated you along with rocks. So I'm assuming this is Emu telling Gaban, you're like, okay, if you were gonna get this strong, I should have killed you when I had the chance. I don't know if Emu's talking about Shanks or if Emu's talking about Gaban, because when Emu says the brat from God Valley, I like you're calling Gaban a brat. I mean, he was pretty old at that point, but like Shanks was an actual kid. And you know, Shanks is really strong at this point, so I don't know what Emu is really talking about. I'm assuming it's about Gaban. I mean, Emu is saying it to Gaban. I don't know when Emu would have interacted with Gaban. The only thing that I can think of is when Garling and all them pulled up to kill Rocks at the end, and we know that Rayleigh and Gaban, they picked up Garp and Roger, so maybe Emu was like watching over them or something like that. And this is something I wish Oda had covered at the end of God Valley. I don't know why we just cut away from that. Like, obviously they should have fought or something at that point. So maybe Gaban and Rayleigh beat Garling and all of them at that time. And that's possibly what Emu's talking about, is like, oh, I could have taken you out then, but I didn't, and you got way stronger. But then Emu congratulates Gaban for only losing one arm from his attack, and Gaban thanks him saying, sorry, but now I cannot applaud you on avoiding my attack. So I'm not really sure what attack Gaban is talking about. Maybe it's some attack that we just didn't see. It was off screen. Maybe Gaban went for an attack while they were falling, and that's when Emu was able to cut his arm. It's kind of funny that Emu is congratulating Gaban for only losing an arm. Like, Emu was, you know, hyping him up last chapter, and now Emu's like, oh, I'm just so much better than you, basically. But yeah, I don't know what Gaban's talking about. Like, what attack are you talking about? Because Emu blocked all the other attacks that we saw from Gaban last chapter. So it must be some new attack that we didn't see while they were falling or something like that. But then Gaban tells Luffy to take his crew and leave Elbaf, but Luffy refuses. So I don't know how Luffy and Gaban are communicating right now. Maybe it's the voice of all things. Maybe Gaban is just yelling from the underworld. But I mean, Luffy should be in the Sun Realm right now, and Gaban is down in the underworld. But Gaban is telling Luffy to leave and that he needs to just get out of Elbaf. And this is something that was kind of talked about at the beginning of the arc, with Gaban saying, you know, if Elbaf is still safe, and you can come see me then. So people have always like theorized that Gaban saying this means that Luffy is going to have to, you know, prematurely leave Elbaf. But Luffy's like, no, I'm going to keep fighting, which I guess this kind of shuts down the Enies Lobby 2.0 theories that I had, you know, the headcanon that I had for Elbaf. Because if Gaban is saying this now and Luffy's refusing, it's kind of like Oda, you know, saying to Luffy, Luffy, hey, we should have an Enies Lobby 2.0, and him refuse to that. And Luffy and Loki and all of them are coming in at the end of the chapter, so I'm like, it looks like we're about to have a tag team, matchup against Emu. But then Emu prepares to kill Gaban and Luffy, but Hajrudin arrives at that moment and punches Emu away from them. However, Hajrudin is affected by the demonic aura. So Emu prepares to kill Gaban and Luffy. So maybe Luffy came down to the underworld or something like that, because I don't know how Emu would be able to kill both of them at the same time. Maybe it's because Emu is now big as fuck or something like that. Like Emu is able to attack both of them at the same time. But Hajrudin is coming in. So I don't know if Hajrudin jumped down from the Sun Realm. Like I just don't know where everyone's at right now. Or maybe they're all up in the Sun Realm for some reason. Like maybe Emu brought Gaban up there. But Hajrudin is punching Emu. Like I want to see what this attack is, because I wonder if there's any hockey on it. Like how crazy is Hajrudin buffed from, Dressrosa? And then Hajrudin is affected by the demonic aura. I don't know if this is just Emu's hockey or if this is like Emu's Maki that Emu just has around them, if it's affecting Hajrudin, because I just haven't really seen any demonic aura from Emu. Like when Emu went to the West Village and kind of like shit on Gerd and Stanson cut off his leg and stuff like that, it didn't seem like Emu was affecting them then. So I don't know what's happening now. Maybe it's because Emu's in this new form that something else is going on. But then Gaban tells Hajrudin to run, but Hajrudin says that he will never submit, and that even if he dies, Loki is still there. And after that, Loki arrives. So Gaban tells Hajrudin just to get the fuck out of here, because this is Emu. Like Hajrudin, that was a cool moment. You punched him, but we saw what happened to Luffy. But Hajrudin says he's gonna keep staying there, and he says he has Loki to back him up even if he dies, which is pretty cool that he's putting his trust in Loki. And Loki is arriving back in, so I don't know how much Gerd was able to heal him. I'm assuming his devil fruit is also healing him at the same time. And we know that he's an ancient giant who is just buff as fuck. Like he just has that durability. He can keep fighting. So it looks like Loki's coming back in. It doesn't seem like he's in a hybrid form or anything like that right now, but he could transform, because it looks like next chapter we're just going to continue the fighting. But Luffy recovers from his injuries by eating the food he had stored. So Luffy is healing up as well as Loki, but he's doing it a little bit differently on his own, and he's using the food that he had stored. So I don't know if this is the food that's still in his body, like because he ate so much food, that's why he's still in gear 5, he still has energy. And it's possible that Luffy has some sort of self-healing, like because he has the food in his body or like excess food, he can use up that food to heal himself. So when Luffy's out of food, he can no longer heal himself while using gear 5. I'm assuming that this is a gear 5 ability. Or maybe Luffy just has more food on him in his fucking pockets or something like that. It's possible that Luffy's literally just eating more food that he has stuffed in his gear 5, clouds or something like that. Like, I don't really know. But it makes sense that Luffy's recovering. I mean, he kind of has to recover and no one's there to heal him. So what else are you going to do? So it looks like now we have Hajrudin right here. We have Loki who's coming back into the fray and he's healed. And now we have Luffy who just healed on the sidelines by himself. And all three of them together, Luffy, Loki, and Hajrudin, attack Emu using the technique Sovereignty of the Three Generals. So all three of them are using a combined attack, just like we saw Road, Gerd, and Goldberg use. And I'm guessing it's just like a giant death beam like what they did to the Dark Nika. It's just crazy that Hajrudin is in this attack with Luffy and Loki, considering he should be so much weaker than them. But even then, like I'm here for the Hajrudin hype. Like I want Hajrudin to do well in this fight and to actually matter and to fight alongside them, because that would just be awesome. And I wonder what this is doing to Emu. We're not learning if this is really fucking up Emu, but like I'm assuming that this is doing some real damage to Emu, considering Luffy and Loki are in this attack. Maybe Emu is blocking with an omen or something like that. I don't know. Maybe the omen bubble is back up, but we're gonna have to wait and see. This chapter is looking like a 10 out of 10. It's looking peak. It sucks that there's another fucking break next week, but hopefully this chapter can feed us for a little bit longer. But that's all I got for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. See ya.